Hi guys, welcome. My name's Colin and today's video is going to be a follow-on from the Apex 300 review that I've recently done. When the Apex 300 was first shown at the CES 2025 show back in January, the Apex 300 was of course the US specification model. So this meant that it had the ability to switch between 120 and 240 volts. Here in the UK and across Europe, we will not have the option to switch between 120 and 240 volt because we don't use 120 volts. So instead, Bluetti come up with something quite unique and different for our markets. And instead of the selector being 120 and 240 volts, they have in fact renamed this to be the magic button. So today's video is all about the magic button, what it does, the different modes available, and how this works. So I will be going into, first off, I will do a kind of a quick overview of the different options available, and then once I've done that, I'll actually drill into each option and discuss about kind of how to configure it and so on. So to start with, here's a quick overview of the different modes and options that we have for the magic button. Now please note that all of these are configured within the app itself, and I will show this on the screen. So first up, we have time of use and backup. We have self-consumption and backup mode. We have a child lock mode. We have grid self-adaptation mode, and finally we have powerlifting mode. So these are the 5 options that we have available to configure the magic button. Okay, so let's start with the first option, time of use and backup. Time of use allows you to save costs by creating a schedule as to when you can basically back up or recharge your Apex during off-peak hours, and also to then power your devices during this time. You'll need to create a schedule first, and this is done in the working mode of the app itself, and I'll put this up on the screen now. Okay, so now that you've got the schedule set up and that you've selected time of use and backup, next thing is to assign this function to the actual magic button itself. So in the settings menu, select the magic button, which may currently say unassigned, and you'll be presented with the first option on the screen. Now this may already say time of use and backup. Press the OK and you'll see that that will actually then be selected as the magic button option. So next up we have self-consumption and backup. This mode will initially charge from the grid up to a certain percentage of SOC or state of charge, and once this threshold or this limit has been reached, it will then seamlessly switch over to your solar input. Okay, so let's do a demo. This demo, we're going to click on the Apex 300. Then in the top right corner, we're going to click on the settings. Next up, select the working mode. Now select the self-consumption and click OK. Next, we're going to set the SOC setting. As you can see, this is currently showing at 27%, so I'm going to adjust this to what I need. So click on the SOC setting and this brings up a slider. Using the using your finger, you can adjust the level, and I've set this to 35%. So now I'm going to do a quick time lapse and speed through this so you can see what actually happens when the grid is turned on. As we approach the 35% mark, which is the value that I set in the state of charge, you'll see that it will actually complete 35%, and just as it gets into 36%, it will actually disable and turn off the grid. Next up, we have the child lock. To access the child lock, go into the Apex settings, scroll up until you find the child lock option. Press that, and then you will see the child lock features. We have enable, disable, by default it's disabled, and then you have child lock level 1 and level 2. Level 1 prevents the turning on of any output switches, and level 2 prevents toggling any of those output switches. When you want to enable the child lock, I suggest selecting the level of the lock that you require first, and once you've selected level 1 or level 2, then press the enable button. Once you've pressed the enable button, press the left back arrow at the top of the app, and you should then see within the settings it says child lock enabled. On the front of the Apex display, you should now see a blue icon in the top center of the screen, and then that shows that the child lock is enabled. To turn this off again, simply go into settings, child lock, and press the disable option. Press the back button once done, and you should now find that the child lock is showing as disabled. Now that I've covered the child lock and how to set the different child lock levels, let's move on to child lock and the magic button. Go to settings, scroll up until you find the magic button. Now this might actually say the magic button is not set yet, in which case that's fine. Let's continue. Select the magic button option and it will bring up a new menu. Now this is where it will show the different options available. By default, the first option will be time of use that is displayed, followed by self-consumption and backup, and finally child lock. Once you're on child lock, press the OK button to enable the child lock feature. Say that you've defined an option to the magic button, but you no longer wish for that option to be set up. There is a way of resetting the magic button, and this can be done by going into the magic button settings, and near the top right corner there is a question mark and a square with a circle with a backward arrow on it. Pressing that will basically reset the function back to default, and it will then show as not yet set. And finally, I want to do a quick closing summary. We have time of use and backup. This allows you to save costs by setting up different schedules to charge up when energy prices are typically at the lowest, meaning off-peak. We have self-consumption. Efficiently uses solar energy, and the Apex300 will charge from the grid to a defined level and then seamlessly switch over to solar to recharge the battery. The child lock helps to keep young curious fingers from accidentally turning on or off your power station devices. Grid self-adaptation. Now whilst I didn't cover this in more detail, I have covered this in other videos. Grid self-adaptation helps to stabilize AC current when using an unstable power source such as a generator grid supply. Should you get an alarm after connecting one of these sources to your Apex, enabling the grid self-adaptation mode will help to smooth and balance out the unstable AC input source. And finally, we have powerlifting mode. The Apex300 can power up to 7,680 watts of pure resistive loads. Resistive loads could be dryers, kettles, electric blankets and other devices with heating elements. Please note this is disabled by default, and should you need to use this, please remember to turn off this function when you have finished powering your resistive load device. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch my video. Please leave a comment, and if you found this informative, please like and share. I very much appreciate your support, and thanks very much. See you soon.